Alright guys, welcome back to another episode of Planet Zoo. Today we're doing the cougar enclosure, and then next episode we'll be doing the Indian elephants. Yeah, we're doing the cougar enclosure. I'm keeping it the same as the grizzly bears in terms of barrier, just using the thickened glass. So yeah, it's kind of a funky shape. The enclosure, but it's because I wanted it to kind of fill in this area really well, so you'll see what I mean. But yeah, so throwing in the thickened glass. It's about 12 feet high, a little over I think, because they needed a minimum of like 10 feet and I wanted it to just be the same height as the grizzly bears, so that's what I did. And then I'm doing this kind of L shape because I'm going to need the path to go past this part to go to the next habitat over there. Because we're still going to have one more little habitat on this side. So I wanted to make sure there was room for that. And then I have to move this staff room out of the way just to be able to get a path through. The path over here is wonky as shit, so I'm eventually going to have to redraw the pathway and try to make these buildings fit in a little better in this area, but for now I think it worked out. So I do kind of a sorry, hold on. I do kind of a funky design for the mountain. I'm just trying to be kind of I guess abstract and try to do something different. So I didn't want to do the same thing I've been doing for the mountains. So I came up with this kind of design, just a couple squares, ramps, and then I do also add like pyramids and stuff on the corners just to add in some more texture. And I do these little cylinders as well, and then the pyramids, just to give it some texture, which the pyramids I'm now realizing I smoothed completely out. But anyway, you get kind of this like nice natural looking hill. The pond is very deep because I forgot that intensity was at 100. So, but boom, just like that, they got a nice little enclosure going for them. It's a very simplistic design, but it works. I'm adding a log on both sides so that they have some way to climb up there, because I don't think they'd be able to just walk to the top there. So I added a log on each side, just so they have something to do. And then now I'm just building a climbable structure. Because I know they don't need it, but I know that the big cats do enjoy it. So I am adding some of the structures as well. And then I was just checking in on all the animals real quick, because I kept getting notifications pop up every now and again. So I was just seeing what's going on. I don't think we have any more of the Chinese pangolians or whatever the fuck. I think they're all dead. So, that's great. But yeah, just checking in on everything, because fucking animals are constantly fucking having strokes and shit, so I'm just making sure they're all in their enclosures doing what they're supposed to. But yeah. The snow leopard ended up getting out too. Because the top of the habitat gate didn't have a anti-climb shit there, so it ended up just hopping right over. But back to the climbable structure, just doing kind of just whatever, just doing stuff that I feel like looks good. Make it multi-story and stuff, and have multiple ways to climb up and things like that. I'm just doing my best to make it look cool, but also give the animal like a proper, I guess, challenge is what you would say. Yeah, I guess you would call it a challenge. Give them a proper challenge and give them something fun to do. But yeah, I think it came out pretty good overall. The climbable structure, I like it. It's a nice little design that fits for that location. What did I do next? I think I did the hard shelter, which I ended up just doing a pre-made hard shelter. Because I didn't know exactly what to build, so I kind of just went with a pre-made one. Said fuck it. I do go back right now and lower all these into the ground. I wasn't paying attention when I was doing it, And I didn't realize how big that lip is, so I end up lowering those into the ground a little bit. I did have to put a null barrier on the other side of this too, because I didn't even think about it. The fucking mountain lions climbed on top of this and then just jumped over the fence. So I had to put a really tall null barrier in so that they wouldn't do that. But yeah, so just a very simple hard shelter for them, because I didn't know what to do and I didn't want to do a cave again. So, but I really like this area of the zoo, because the wolves, the grizzly bears, and the mountain lions, all their habitats kind of flow together, you know, which I really like. So just adding some soil, because they do need at least a little bit. So I add some by their bed and by the water. And then I'm putting coolers because the mountain is going to be snow. It's the only thing that's going to have snow on it. So I put coolers on both sides of that so I could add some snow. I think it looks pretty good. And then now I'm going to add in some vegetation, which I basically did the same kind of trees that are in the other two habitats. So just like pine trees and spruce and things like that, just to get that general look. And they do surprisingly need a decent amount of coverage to be happy, so there's more coverage than I thought. But yeah, so it's the same kind of trees as over there. And I really like the way these three habitats just flow together. But yeah, this was a fairly simple habitat again. Just because I think it's because now we're kind of getting used to stuff. We're getting into the rotation of things, so it's become, I guess, a lot easier to make habitats. It's not as hard for me to do things and like the way it looks, you know what I mean? So, I thought this habitat came out great. I thought it looked pretty good. Oh, sorry. The Indian elephant one, though, that one's going to be a bit rough, because I don't know what the fuck I'm going to do for that one. I don't want it to be empty and flat, but, I mean, like at my zoo, that's how the elephant area is. It's very empty and flat, and then there's just like a river that runs through it, basically. And that's it. They have a couple like poles and stuff, and they do have like balls and toys to play with, but that's it. It's a fairly empty enclosure. And that's the other thing too. My zoo, it's all the plants that are here, so it's usually, well, other than the bamboo that's everywhere, but it's like Palo Verde trees and mesquite trees and native bushes and shit like that. It's not anything crazy. But yeah, so this enclosure is fairly simple. But I still think it looks pretty good. Yeah, I'm really excited about doing that shared enclosure right across from this. That enclosure is going to be so big, but it's going to be so sick. I'm like pumped for it. And I think what I'm going to do, that way the transformer over there kind of fits in, is I think we're going to have like a little food plaza right there in the middle of the shared habitat. I'll kind of show you guys what I mean a little better when we go and check out the game after we're done building the enclosure. But I'm getting some ideas now just from kind of brainstorming and thinking about it for a couple days. So I kind of know what I'm going to do with that enclosure, but I also don't. So I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I'm hoping that it turns out good though, because that enclosure is going to be probably one of the longest it takes to make. Purely because it's going to be massive for one. And there's going to be little things I want to like hand make. I want to hand make a dam like with wood and stuff like that. But yeah, let's go take a look at the enclosure a little closer in game and talk a little bit more about what's next. Alright guys, and here's our cougar now. Well, one of them. We got a female and a male in here, hopefully they breed. But, yeah, this is the enclosure. I think it came out really good. I'm really happy with the way all this stuff should go away. I'm really happy with the way the enclosure came out. And like I said, I really like how these three just kind of blend in together. You know what I mean? It looks like they all fit together. And I feel like it works really well. But, yeah, so that's... I don't know what we're gonna put here either, though. I haven't, like, thought about it. I don't remember what we were gonna do here. That'll be something we worry about later anyway, though. So, like I was saying, though, next episode is gonna be the Indian elephants right here on this side. And that's gonna be a pretty big enclosure. I think I'm gonna have the pathway wrap all the way around it just because of the length, or how big it's gonna be. So I think I'm going to have the path wrap all the way around it. I'm not sure just yet. But yeah. Those flamingos are fucked, dude. I'm just waiting for them all to die at this point. I'm losing money right now. But yeah, so that's kind of the general idea. How the fuck? He's in there, what? He is an outsider though, due to gender ratio, so we will just donate him real quick. If it decides to. And also, just since building this enclosure, I have found ways to build this enclosure better. So, that's cool. But, it's fine, because this enclosure I feel like looks pretty good anyway. It still looks good, in my opinion. But, oh. No inbreeding, you bastards. Actually, we'll just make it so he can't breed, and we'll let her breed still. She's integrating, so she'll be fine. Okay, so we'll go over here, though, and I'll talk a little bit about the shared enclosure and what I'm thinking. So, for one, I'm thinking about this right here being a big sign that says just North American something, you know? Or North America, just simply North America, you know? Just a big-ass sign, maybe some deers or something, some crazy shit. So big sign there. I want to do like a viewing entrance here to get down into those domes, and then we'll have another one on the other side somewhere. But basically, I want the enclosure to start right here with this. Have the viewing dome here, and on the other side of the viewing dome, so like right here, I want it to go up the path because I want the path to go through the enclosure a little bit. But basically, I want the enclosure to go from right here to about right here, and then I want it to wrap all the way. It might be too big. It might be too big. What I was thinking might be too big, actually. Now that I'm like actually looking at the scale of things, it would probably be too big. But I like my idea of having the plaza here. So maybe we'll find a way to fill this in, maybe with like a smaller enclosure, and we'll start all that right here in this corner. So we'll have the path break right here, and we'll have the viewing dome still. And the enclosure will go from like right here on this corner somewhere. And it might go out this way a little bit. Like that. Like that. And then it'll wrap all, well, it might be even a little bit bigger, but it'll wrap all the way around to this corner. So this whole side will be that shared enclosure. And then it'll go like this, and then it'll probably stop at like this light, go out and around a giant plaza of shops and shit. Basically this, but bigger, you know? Or like this one, but bigger. Because that side of the zoo doesn't have one yet. So something like that is what I'm thinking. Currently. And that's going to be a big process. Big learning process. For sure. Because making that plaza the way I want even is going to be a bit rough. But yeah, so that's kind of the general idea. I don't know how I'm gonna do it just yet. I don't remember either how I had the things on a fucking grid. Okay, just like that, and then I could just connect it right here. Okay, we're good. But yeah, so that's the general idea. Big plaza, giant enclosure wrapping around now from this side to this side. Because that'll also give me room to do like a little enclosure, couple little enclosures on that side, and a couple little enclosures. Like, well, one little enclosure on this side. And then I could still do that sign. And then this still can go like all the way to right here. So, or it can go to right here. So I don't know if we're really gonna fill in the whole square because the square is pretty large. So I'm not sure if we'll fill in the whole square, but yeah. So that's the general idea though, for right now. But yeah. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Planet Zoo. I know it was a pretty short one, but just wanted to give you guys the general, the basics, I guess. We're gonna do souvenir shop because I'm gonna need the souvenir shops, the food shops. Yeah, I'm gonna need all those done because we're gonna do our first restaurant over here as well. So it's gonna be pretty big. It's gonna be pretty extensive. And then we have all the stuff unlocked now, so we could do like a 4x4 adventure going through the enclosure. We actually might do that. Let me go to facilities and let's go take a look at that real quick. So yeah, because I mean we have all of these. Like we could just go ahead and do the monorail like I was saying, or we could do a gondola. Like both of these could work really well for this. Especially actually because there'll be space right here since we're going to do the enclosure further that way to have a station on this side and a station on that side. Fuck. I don't know. And then this would be really cool as well, I think. Do have an entrance for this. I don't know how this works though. I think this has its own like separate habitat gate. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, so track airlock, wooden airlock, glass airlock. So we would just do the track airlock. Okay. So yeah, we might do like a 4x4 thing and not do the walkthrough above and just have the 4x4 go through with the viewing dome still. And maybe actually the path might go around the entire enclosure too for this one just because it's going to be so big. I'm not sure yet. But yeah, so the general idea, plaza in the middle, maybe that 4x4 ride. Because now I'm kind of thinking about it, because there's enough space on both sides to do it. But, yeah, so that's the idea for right now. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Comment down below what you guys want to see on the channel in the future. I'll see you guys very soon in the next Planet Zoo video. Stay safe out there. And peace out, guys.